But it's good to see everybody out here on a weekend. Best part of this right now is players get to get their awards. We're going to recognize the teams for the amount of work they did, and then also some individual players for some of the achievements they did throughout the season. To kind of paint it broadly, I couldn't be prouder of the group of players here. From the initial summer, first coming out to a soccer field, to where we ended up, night and day. We actually, I think we probably overachieved what some of my expectations were for some of them. Brand new soccer players going out and competing in a city league, not easy. It's real kind of easy to let some of the emotions get you down from playing those teams of players that have been playing for 5, 6, 7 years already together, and the amount of resilience that the players demonstrated, fought through it, and then by the end of the season, I think every single one of our teams was competing in games, not just showing up and going through the motion, but actually competing, to include a penalty kick shootout. So yeah, that well beyond my expectations. Going into kind of like the plan of, after today, everybody's going to enjoy Thanksgiving. After that, we're going to kind of go into our winter routine. It's going to be a hybrid of field and home. So we're going to start giving players ownership of their own development. They'll be given pretty much a weekly curriculum that's age-based, and it's going to be individual skill. So all the things that we see and we know that we really want to get players up to before they go back into the spring season, we are going to hit those really hard throughout the winter. And then weekly they'll meet with coaching staff to kind of build on what they've done that week. It'll be directly up to the players. It won't be a coach forcing them to do it throughout the week. So it's going to be really, the players are going to take their own development in their hands there. And that will, that's ultimately, that's not to, paint it badly, but that is the difference between, coming into next season and actually developing more team concepts and learning soccer from the team aspect versus how do I kick the ball properly? How do I pass the ball? Why is the other team swarming me so quickly? How do I control the ball out of the air? All these things we can start hammering out during the winter time. And we're going to be following a recognized development curriculum, one that I used as a kid. It's called Cover. It basically preaches one versus one type style skills. All of these little soul taps, toe taps are just foundations of skill stuff down the road that they'll be building on. And it'll be age-based. So as they get better and better, they get older, different set of skills will be expected at the next age group up. So each coach will also have a library of those that they'll have as an objective for that spring season. They want all their players to be able to do before they hand them off to the next coach the following year, and so on and so on. And we kind of want to build our curriculum that way, where each team complements each other, and when we advance to the next age group, whether or not it's the same coach or not, the curriculum is just going to build on the same one. We'll talk in the same language, using the same types of words, development strategies, and so all the players will kind of be operating off of maybe call it the same textbook, just age appropriate. And that's kind of how we're going to go from there into the spring. We'll have some additional coaches coming in as well, and we're also going to be using some of the winter time too to develop internally some of our coaches. Because unless we invest in ourselves to be able to get better, we're ignorant if we think that we're going to know it all. Last thing about that program, any parents that just want to learn the sport more, there's a parent library I created. It's probably not widely shared, but it's just a soccer rule book for parents. It looks like a comic book strip, 2 pages. You can start with that. But if you really want to start learning a little bit more about, why certain things are, why we use certain words when we talk to players, ask. But pretty soon everybody should have access to the website and their own side of the house there. pretty much anything you'd want to ever know will be in there. We'll make it available to everybody. Yeah, and so that being said, I guess we'll move on with our,
And I have one quick thing, well actually two. First of all, I would like to thank all the parents that you came and for all the beautiful feast, what you prepared, drinks, cupcakes, donuts, and everything. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it, and I bet like our kids and our players definitely do appreciate it. And second thing, what I would like to point out is, in February, that's when the spring season starts. For that, I would like to have the uniforms, and I cannot stress enough how much the uniforms cost and how much we need to start doing fundraising. Because either I can give you the full price, this is the cost of the league, let's say $70, and there will be like $40, $50 for the uniform, and come up with it in the like 1st of February, and we'll say buy the amount of the kids that you have. Or we can start kicking right now, come up with the ideas how we can fundraise, how the kids can fundraise, because we want to teach them, I need money, I need to do something for the money. So it's not only just the parents' job, but it's mainly to the kids. So push your kids, come with the idea, and let's start rolling, because we are on limited time. There will be holidays, it will be harder and harder by January comes, okay? So please send out ideas and let's take an initiative. Let's start doing something what we can do. I'm more than happy to accept any ideas and start rolling out. And with that being said, we can roll into the next phase, and that's appreciation of the players. Thank you guys, I really...
Coach Noah is going to come up here, introduce his U8 team. That group of players, up until I met the current group that I work with, my favorite soccer players. Young, eager, play games with them, happy. But I'll tell you what, that group of players, in just a small amount of time from this fall season, has really expedited kind of their development. By far the most lethal attack in the entire club is, when it comes to going after opponents and attacking in their side of the field. This group of players is going to be one to watch. Coach No took the team over after about maybe a month of kind of getting things rolling. He hasn't missed a beat. He's been keeping up with the same types of things that we were stressing on. The kids love him, and so I really want to thank him for stepping in and kind of taking on that role as a parent and now coach, and kind of going to that next step. Because without him, we can only divide ourselves so many times before the quality starts going down. So without parents like him stepping up, that group of players and some of the other teams their training would suffer as well. So I really appreciate you stepping up and helping out and taking over that team. And I was amazed to go out there at the postseason and watch those players destroy teams. So, yeah, that being said, Coach Noah.
Hey, how you guys doing? Like you said, I took over the team like halfway through the season. I just want to thank all the parents for coming in today. Not just today, but to taking the kids to practice, to the games. But most important, I want to thank the kids because they put all the effort during the game and practices. We'll start giving them their trophies, and then we'll recognize 2 players, one for outstanding development throughout the whole season, and one for the performance throughout the whole season as well. Okay?
Give me the hand.
Alright, so we'll start with Savannah. Alright, next we got Boaz.
Why do they look like championships trophies?
Alright, next we got Wyatt.
Am I lying? No. See?
Next we got Emilio. Next we have Levi. And lastly we have Elijah. And then now lastly we have Dominic. I didn't see it. Alright, and then Coach Brian planned something out. He didn't get the certificates, but I just want to recognize one player. Throughout the whole season, he started kind of like slow and everything, but at the end, he was a really good player and a good part of the team. He did really good. So I'm bringing Boaz here. And you guys might think that he's tiny, but he's really good. And then I want to take another player. I think without him, we could have lost a lot of games, and with him, we win a lot of games. He's a phenomenal player for his age. He's been playing for a while apparently, so that's why he's so good. And I'll bring him up, Levi. And that's all the players, guys. That's a class of 4 stories for you guys.
Yeah!
No, we don't. Because you have sensitive ears.
Let's go next to the coach.
You have sensitive ears. Yeah, see, I was right. You were wrong. Just like you. I mean, this dude. Oh yeah, Josh did clutch the whole team. Josh, you clutched the whole team. You clutched the whole team.
Nah, I didn't.
Without you, Pedro wouldn't have had a dynamic duo.
Smile.
I mean, that's. And Pedro, you know that.
Thank you.
You're awesome.
You're good.
My, this is good.
Yeah, they might actually.
No, it's just like your brother. Always gotta go against you.
You're literally dog.
I'm the
Everything
second
they
best.
do while you in the goal.
I'm the
you're
second.
hit.
I'm the second
That's
best
not
one in
true.
the
That
team.
is not true. It's Josh, Layla, everyone else, and then you. Not Josh, Alex. Alex, Layla, everybody else, and then you.
Alex is
Better than you.
No.
Sorry.
Where's all the wolves
Alex is
at?
a better goalie.
Well, no crap. He's
1,
Superman.
2. There we go.
Pretty good.
It's also cute. I mean,
He's the best.
Cool.
He made me.
Okay, that works. Okay.
right, Josh?
So,
Alex is cute.
Coach Chris is traveling for the holidays to go visit his family in Georgia. So, he really wanted to be here to see these guys off. But he did send some notes. I mean, he wanted to thank all the parents first and foremost for getting these kids to and from practices, games. Sometimes multiple players in the same family going across field to field. I know a few in particular where they literally spend 5-6 hours out there at the fields every weekend. And so yeah, thank you parents for making that happen. And then what we wanted to do was send them off. We have two individual awards that each team is kind of putting players up for this season. One, most improved player. My opinion, one of the most important, because that's kind of like a benchmark of players' development. And the ones that really respond to it from beginning to where they end the season, we want to recognize that player who really stepped up and demonstrated the most amount of tackling strides throughout that process. And then the second one, we call him like the force impact player. So it's both on the field, at games, training. It might just be a presence they have or individual skill, but for one of those attributes or multiple, what they're doing is a huge impact for their team. And there were, and some of those decisions they were very, very hard for some of the coaches to make this season. That being said, let's go ahead and introduce these guys out. You're missing a few today, right? All right. Well, more means you guys get 2 trophies, right? Each. Okay.
Be like, I'm just gonna give you his.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you
So,
hers.
Miss Temperance. Mr. LJ. Jocelyn's not here. Abraham's not here. Francisco. Jordan.
How do you like it? Soul.
Jason. Okay, how about, I know this one, Kaden. Miss Mia. I got your name right, didn't I? How many months did it take you? Confusing it, right? Leanna? Miss Layla. Good? Okay. And then for their most improved player for the Wolves this season was Miss Salem. And then their impact player was a 2-way tie. We tried to break it with votes. LJ and Jordan. Right.
Picture for you guys. Okay. Remember, stand up. And let's go. Say cheese. 3, 2, 1, go.
But he's 10.
Perfect. Thank you.
It's not?
Not us. I think they're gonna do it. I think the rest of he probably got like 1,000 of the trophies. They're like, man, celebrities the medals. These are the most improved and the best. I think we're in the medal. I don't know. Stop playing around.
So for the Shield, they've gotten their trophies. They got them.
He's gonna fall.
They were overly excited on Championship Day, so they got them that day, as well as taking home the 2nd place trophy for their bracket. So we're really proud of you guys for that. This is another one of those teams that you got to watch out for. I don't know what switch they hit towards the end of the season, but there was some energy coming with that team, especially when they hit the last 2 tournament games. I mean, a team that they had tied 5-5 3 weeks prior, they ended up crushing 10-1 in the semifinal game. I mean, they must have all eaten their Wheaties that day. And then so, with that being said, the most improved player for this group over here. Who do you guys think it is?
Us?
Right, Sebastian. And then their impact player. Who do you guys think your impact player is? So, it was a tie between Brooke, just for her sheer resilience of fighting off a concussion ambulance ride off the soccer field and trying to show up when she gets kicked out of the emergency room, trying to show right back up to the soccer field to play the game again. I'm still shocked by that one. And then going into the postseason, not even flinching. The ball didn't scare her. Contact didn't scare her. You couldn't even tell that she was that she had sustained that type of head injury. She just went 110% right back into it. And so we're really proud of her for that. And then one of the players who's not here, Coach Sarah wanted to mention as being an impact player was Juliet. Now, since she's already here, so our best goalkeeper of the club on the junior side of the house, Miss Leslie.
Did you know that I hated her more the first day than I hate her now? You. No, I have many reasons why I hate her. I just love how you do that.
I'm complimenting you.
What did you
All right, hey, let's listen up, guys. Hey, let me get all the night players up on this little bench right here. Stand up there. Night,
Oh,
let's
wait.
go. Hey, stand up top. Get up there.
I don't want to say bye.
Fair enough, room?
Oh my god, I'm sure.
All right, guys, listen up. Hey, I want to say thank you to all the parents, right? I know I haven't been here a lot. I've had a lot of training with the Army and going to Ranger School, going to Master Gunner. Hey, I missed a couple games, but hey, I'm out here when I'm here, right? I'm here 4 days out of the week when I am here at Bliss or in El Paso. Hey, I want to bring Monica and Brian up here. Come here. Hey, come here, Mom. Hey, guys. Hey, force would not be force without these two individuals right here.
So hey.
Hey, let's give them a round of applause, guys. Hey, they are my impact players, guys. Without them, we would not have a soccer team.
Yep.
But I brought this team on. It was me by myself. And unfortunately, you know, it was good, but I needed these two to step up and, hey, they made it what it is today, right? I bow down to them. I learned so much from these two. They put a lot of sacrifice into this team, if you don't know it, and it impacts their family. And I'm very grateful for that because they give me the time to go do what I want to do, and they take on the responsibility when I'm not here. So, hey, they deserve a lot of appreciation, all right? Hey, I love these two. They're part of my family now. We're always going to have each other's backs, and we're just going to make this better and better and better, all right? Thank you guys for that. Woo! And one more hat. All right. On top of that, these players right here, they're the backbone of my team, all right? Every single one of them have improved this season. When I wasn't here, I always heard from Brian that, hey, great things from them, right? And we had a lot of games that were up and a lot of games that were down. Hey, we've seen a lot of improvement from every single one of them, all right? So, hey, I'm proud of you guys, all right? I get it, I wasn't here for a lot of the games, but hey, I knew I was leaving you guys in great hands with Brian, and hey, you guys got out there and you guys killed it, right? Woo! Hey, you guys did great things for the playoffs. Hey, you guys owned it, right? And the only way we can go now is up. We can only get better. Every day you come out to practice, we get better. Hey, you guys may not notice it when we're losing, but guess what? Who does notice it is the parents on the sideline and the coaches that are watching you play. Right? All right, so my impact player, I'm gonna do the impact players first, all right? My most improved player is Matthew. Come down here, Matthew. This kid Matthew has been here from the beginning, all right? And he stepped up. He may be the smallest player on my team, but he came out with heart and he comes out to play. Every day he's out there and he doesn't give up, right? And I've shown him the fundamentals and he takes it to every practice every day. He doesn't forget it and he'll bring it every day, 110%. So congratulations, Matthew, for being the impact player of this whole season. Most improved. My most impact player is Layla. Come down here, Layla. Hey, Layla sleeps, eats, and gets up early in the morning and thinks about soccer, right? She is one of the most motivated individuals I've ever met and keeps me going, right? Hey, she puts the time and the effort in to improve every day. She doesn't give up. She goes home. She practices. I know she practices with LJ, her little brother, and hey, she gives it her all. Ever since I met her, she has given it 110% and then some. And she doesn't give up. She has one goal, and that's to play professional soccer, right? Hey, and she knows that, guys. How many times have you guys not seen her give 110%? Never, right? Hey, she motivated this team, right? Hey, so congratulations. All right, but hey, all you guys are my impact players, right? All you guys did great things out there this year, and I've seen great improvement, right? Kayla, Pablo, you know, there you go. Kylie, Milo, Hayden, hey, all you guys, Alex, Matthew, hey, this team wouldn't be anything without you guys, all right? So now I'm going to give you guys out your little certificates or your medals, all right? So first one, I guess there's no names on it. All right. So they'll get, hey, they're actually going to receive a shirt and a medal, all right? So here you go. Hey, good seeing you. Hey.
No, it isn't.
Make it bad. I saw that. Hey, she still wants to go. Just keep going. Like this? Alright, just keep going. Learn a little bit. Milo. You improved a lot this year. What we started at the beginning of the Pro Stars, and you still you need to keep going with your action like this. You need to play next year. Come on, Matthew. You're going to keep playing?
Yeah, you just left it
A little bit bigger, hit the growth spurt. Hey, keep it going,
Put it
right?
next to the stove downstairs.
Come on, Katie.
Yeah. Why didn't you do it?
Hey, good job this year, right? Very happy about going fast. Hey, you always know.
Second medal.
Play both sports. I don't think you can always play both. Hey, it's always you could be a big soccer. It's all about confidence. Come on, Alex. Hey, man. You did a good job this year. You motivated the team. I would give you both impact. You guys not over there. Be down, right? Hey, look. Back over this team, whatever team. You got a lot of good opportunities coming to you. With us, it's not the team. You got your goals set right there. Now go ahead. All right, don't give up.
Did you just go in my hair?
Brian is getting too because he coached him half the season. So I'll let him talk too because he was there for the playoffs.
Sit together. Okay. And yeah, can you move a little?
Down short. You
And go
need to
down.
stand up there.
Okay. Are we ready?
No.
So 3, 2, 1. Say cheese. Cheese. Thank you, kids.
Thank you.
I put it on this next.
No fishing.
I'll just I'll add a few things to what Coach Amira said about this team. I really enjoyed working with this group, especially with the kind of like the final month and a half when we had kind of like a little bit of consistency going. We set some goals. they weren't that big of goals. We just kind of set them realistic goals for each player, and by the end of it, this team was almost unrecognizable from the very beginning of the season. Just to name Layla again, I have coaches from other teams come up and talk to me about this player, saying that she's a wall. That's how these are their words, not mine. She's a wall. Awesome defender. I mean, she was naturally an attacking-minded player before I started working with her and put her as a center back. Center back leads the team's defense, organizes it. It's the first step to moving the ball forward. You cannot go forward unless you have somebody there to distribute it. So she's been a backbone of this team. Honestly, I don't think a lot of the individuals here who we watched develop and get a lot better throughout the past month and a half, 2 months, 3 months, a lot of them probably wouldn't have had that opportunity to learn so much from playing in the games if they didn't have somebody as dependable as her back there, keeping the control of the game. She set the tempo. She allowed the team to actually compete, and our players grew as a result of it. And that's kind of really why we chose the word impact player. Actions that just don't fall under one definition, but had a huge impact on them learning the game and getting better as well. And so I couldn't say enough about it. As far as our senior goalkeeper, best in the club, hands down, Alex. This young man, there were some rough games there. Goals, lots of goals. Tell you what, he not only played, and we'll talk about it a little bit with the next team, but he played, with both teams. He played with the older team and then his own age group. Just like a few other players here, makes great saves against players that are 2 years older than him. Most notable, most recent thing that he did that kind of really solidified him deserving this kind of recognition, penalty kick shootout. 4 saves. It's unheard of for a goalkeeper to make 4 saves in a shootout where ended up being a 6 kicks total. He made 4 of the 6 saves. Favoritism always goes towards the kicker. All they really have to do is kind of just put it out of reach. The goalie has to kind of guess. But he ended up coming up big there, and he kept the team in that shootout. I think with the way that had been going, I don't think we would have even maybe cleared 4 kicks out of that. But he dug deep, and he was another one that the coach from the other team said was one of the key differences that kept us from outright losing that game like we had done months prior to the same team. So can't say enough about him. Last one I want to mention is Pablo. Like Layla, Alex, Pablo plays up as well. We think it's beneficial for him to get that experience and play with the older group sometimes, but he puts on a goalkeeper jersey there too. He makes big saves against some of those teenagers. He comes in to this team, and out of the blue, when we just move him up the field a little bit, he starts scoring 3 goals in one game out of nowhere, right? And that was kind of like the turning point of this team where we started seeing that big kind of transformation. I think probably with about a few more months, he's going to be up there as one of those names that's always mentioned as far as impact, backbone. I don't think he's even begun to show us what his potential is. I think he's kind of still discovering that. But recently, in the past couple weeks, that young man has really kind of showed up and been really turning some things around. And so I've got some really high hopes for him. But yeah, thank you guys, team, Coach Ramirez. We'll do it at the end. You need a different size.
No, this is good.
Your soul?
You'll grow into it, don't worry. Feet along.
Right.
Those are the goalkeeper shirts.
Okay. Yeah. Last but not least, we have the Dark Force. Come on up here, guys.
Woo, 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 woo!
heard Dustin.
Come on, here, guys. Come here. Come on. You guys are... So, when it comes to training new soccer players, this group right here, it's the hardest. It's the hardest for them. It's the hardest for coaches. It's the hardest for whole. They've already kind of wired a lot of those connections in their head between foot and brain, prior to discovering soccer. It's a lot harder for them to learn the sport at their age than it is for somebody, let's say, who's 7 years old. This group right here, same type of tempo as everybody else when the season first kind of kicked off. Rough, bunch of other teams that are out there been playing years, getting their tails kicked, 8-9 goals. There were some emotional problems, issues as well. I mean, after you get beat that many times on the field, it starts taking its toll on you. But what I can say is they fought through it. By the end of this season, I think almost every game in the final third of the season, they were competing in each game, if not winning or coming close to winning. It could have gone either way. Every single one of these players I could probably sit here and talk about for 10 minutes, just because I've known them, so much over the past season, and watching them kind of develop, my pleasure. I hope they all stick with it. I encourage them all to. They players who raise your hand here if this was your first time playing soccer. Josiah? No, you played soccer before? Really?
He was a baby, so it doesn't count.
5 years old.
Okay, right. So, a lot of new players. A lot of players that joined kind of halfway through the season. New friendships made. We kind of did a little team dinner one night, and to see them kind of strengthen their bonds with each other, it translated to the field. And so, I mean, apparently this team has a group chat. And they talk with each other outside of soccer, and they are. I know everything. I know everything.
Got it.
Yep. Yeah. You guys can figure out who it was later. How do you know I'm not on there? But no, great group of players. Older ones are a little more stubborn. And so kind of breaking through and getting them to kind of focus towards it hasn't been half as hard as some of the horror stories I've heard from other coaches who coach this age group. In fact, a few of them I'm in a coaching course with right now. That's all they do is complain about this age group. But yeah, I'll take them any day. And yeah, that being said, I'll go ahead and mention out our most improved player for this group right now, Ruben. First year playing soccer. He's an athlete, but as far as presence on the field, you wouldn't be able to tell that this is his first year. Just playing small-sided games, 3v3, 4v4 with him the other night, the team that he was on, he took control of his own team, was talking with them like you'd expect a senior captain to do who's been playing for a decade. He's kind of naturally, started kind of moving into that. I don't know if he'll stay with soccer. I think football's his favorite sport. But I'll tell you what, from beginning to now, he shot up more than anybody. So yeah, congratulations. Impact player? Who is it? Pedro. So, here's another one. Where's Layla at? Yeah. So, these two, they were not programmed as if they knew they were defenders prior to meeting me. But they both have that role now, is playing that center back. Both of them have learned a lot about that role, I think, over the season. Probably some of them, some of the conversations, they weren't happy. They don't enjoy it all the time. he wants to go up and score goals. Now, what I tell him is, well, who's going to get you the ball to score the goals? If you don't have a team that's behind you, that's organized, has leadership, and is capable of stopping the other team from smashing you 6-7 goals in the first 20 minutes. Because after that, the motivation to do anything starts going down. He took it on begrudgingly at first. But one of his key attributes is not only his, strength as a defender, his natural strength as a defender, but being lethal from long range to take shots. It's something that he's been working on. Free kicks. I don't think there's any part of that field that he's not willing to take a shot from and or has scored from probably this season. Maybe our own penalty box. I don't know, maybe you got an own goal too, but
That's not funny.
but everywhere else on the field, he's lethal. He's lethal to challenge any goalkeeper with a long shot or to put the ball into an area. And that's what the world's best defenders do. I mean, they're consistent in the back. They make good decisions, but when you give them the space and somebody says, "Yeah, I got your back, go," man, they take off like all the chains have just been taken off him, and they just go straight with the ball and they don't stop. And that's really one of those natural talents you look for in defenders. So I don't know if he knows this, but he should probably get a little bit comfortable with there. Somebody I do want to mention is Josh here. Late arrival to the team this season. Late arrival to the team this season. I don't know, how many goals did you bag in 4 games so far? 13? 7? Nobody even knows, but yeah, 2-3 goals a game. Count on it. Headers into the box, penalty kicks, just a consistent, natural-born goal scorer. Yep. And so he kind of helped really boost the team as far as giving them the confidence to keep going. Because once you start scoring goals, you watch all the light bulbs start turning on, like, I want to score a goal now too. And you start seeing people, kind of turn things on that they hadn't really turned on before. And so the arrival of players like him, Chanel, another addition, coming in as a key position as a fullback, and taking on that role and being a tough one at that. I mean, she'll take the ball from me on a day too. Players like Ethan here. My man Ethan's scoring headers. He's shooting and chipping goalies. And yeah, so this team has a lot of hidden talent that you wouldn't have really discovered unless you kind of put them all together. I'm sure there's still some more surprises out here. But yeah, really proud of you guys. Hope you guys want to stick with it through the winter, and then let's go crush the spring. Woo! Woo! So, Ethan, you want me to put it on you? You want to put it on yourself? Okay.
I want to go.
Ian. Okay, I'll put it on you.
Okay.
It's gonna go.
Miss Juliet here from the beginning, and I know her family is one of the ones I was kind of hinting at. At the height of it, they have 4 players on 4 separate teams, 3 separate teams, juggling every practice during the week from the Northeast. They commute from the Northeast to come down here. And she's been here from the beginning. Did you score a goal the other day? Is that your first goal? Her soccer career, she finishes her season with a goal. Yeah, we're gonna be really sad to see this family. They're moving to Florida this coming year.
We have until June.
Okay.
It's counting. 8 months.
Never mind.
I would have already packed. I would have already packed.
That's true.
So yeah, bittersweet. A little bit jealous that they're moving there. But when the time does, come to say goodbye, we really will miss her and her family. There you go. And the other one up here.
The other one.
How you feeling?
Good for that.
Good. She's out here after post-surgery from getting her appendix removed. Haley, she's also been here from the beginning too, fighting through it. learning the sport. She was here during some hard times when this team wasn't having much success at all. She stuck with it. You know, by the end, family members are scoring goals. You know, teams doing, you know, good things. I've seen, just between these two, I've seen them jump in their abilities, aggressiveness, just their intelligence on the field in the past 5 months. You know, that just goes to show that all those days of coming out there, they, you know, they pay off. And so whether or not you stick with this, when you go on to, you know, the next school and whatnot, I hope you do. But best of luck to you wherever you go.
Hey, Haley.
Miss Ava here. What should we say about Ava? So, one word to describe her. Start with you.
Yeah, you.
I'm not pointing at you first for any reason. I'm just. Ooh. Go ahead.
Short.
Oh, work it. Short. Okay, we'll go with that. Yeah. So, at this age, boys and girls are different. At teenage, when they start hitting those growth spurts as teenagers, the physical differences really change. She gets bumped off the ball, she goes in and pushes them right back. It doesn't matter if it's boy, girl, it doesn't matter. She's always fighting. And she's a natural striker. We'll see come spring, but I think if she kind of puts the effort towards this winter and focuses on her own self and really hits the soccer homework hard, I think she could come out on a girls team in the spring and probably be a very deadly striker. And so yeah, more to follow. Josh. Told you his story. Goal scorer. I pretty much kidnapped him. He's my neighbor. So after they moved in, I saw a soccer ball. You know, shoved him in the car and said, "Let's go talk to your mom, see about you coming out to practice." And so he's been with us ever since. He brought a definite boost of morale to this team when he arrived. Not just with friendships, but with you know, the success the team has felt. A lot of it, you know, you can thank him for, and that reverberates through all of them. So yeah, we're really happy to have you moved in next to me. Yeah, and you're pretty much a prisoner now. Pedro.
What?
So he wants to be shy now. I purposely put the best attacking players, doesn't matter what team they're on, to train against him 1v1, and then vice versa. Very physical, very quick, and just a natural defender. And if he does get that ball from you, he's transitioning and going on the attack really quick, and that's really, really good for just not only him and his team, but for others to train against. Because if they're playing against defenders of this caliber, it's going to make them better attackers. And so he kind of serves a dual purpose, but I don't think he knows that. But yeah, oh yeah, we definitely are.
Good luck.
But he's got a very bright soccer career ahead of him. Probably so bright that he probably won't even be with this team probably by the end of next year. You know, depending on what his choices are, but you know, he's one of these players that's going to be outgrowing us, and we want him to be in the best competitive environment that's going to help him as a soccer player. And so if he chooses to go that route, we'll help him along the way, you know, making those decisions. But I hope that he sets goals to keep going higher and higher up in the sport, because he's definitely one of those players who should be doing that. So here you go. Come on.
Yeah.
Giselle. Another new soccer player. Another one that doesn't give up, fights, takes the ball away from anybody, including me. She's gotten quicker and quicker with her individual, foot movement, probably than any of them have throughout the season. She was doing things that, I would send videos out to, and she was demonstrating them before a lot of them picked it up. So you could tell that things were kind of clicking with her. So I really hope that you stick with it. It's not too late to keep going with this and actually make a run for this sport, because you're one of the ones that really kind of responded to it. So it's been a pleasure coaching you and your brother, but I hope to see you again next season. Josiah.
Hey, Josiah.
The not new soccer player, because he played when he was a baby. He's another one who's, I think he probably had the best game of that I've seen him play last weekend, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and that's when I went up to you after the game, right? Yeah. And I don't know what it was, but some switches were turning on, and the decisions he was making, they were decisions that you'd expect from a soccer player who's reading the game from playing it for years and years and years. And so, yeah, I think his chapters are yet to be written too with the sport. So yeah, with like your sister, I hope you stick with it, and let's see where you can take it. Anissa. So this is a good soccer player. She won't tell you that, and she probably doesn't believe it. I think if she turns on her head and recognizes her talent, she's one of the players where the sky's the limit. Athleticism, footwork, they're there. You can see it. I think she just doesn't give herself as much credit. She's one of those ones that's going to creep up on you, and one of those players where they're just going to explode, in one of these games, and they're not going to look back and just be a smoke trail behind them. And so, yeah, I think you're one of these ones where I've got really high hopes for. So I hope you do stick with it. All right, we're putting it on.
Ruben.
Going brother, sister. I've already introduced this guy, but same advice as your sister. Stick with it. Stick with it. You can play two sports. So yeah, here you go. We'll see you in the spring. Chanel. How many weeks you been here? 3, 4, right? Yeah. Hey, she's a rock star as a defender. She's tough, fast. She's probably months away from being up there with that group we talk about being awesome defenders in the club. So yeah, we'll see what this winter brings. But welcome. We're glad you're back playing soccer again. I know you took a little break from it, but yeah, stick with it. And we'll be happy to have you. Alex. Layla, come on up here too. So, I'll talk about them both because it's the same story as. Come on over here.
Oh, come on.
Hey, 3 younger players playing up.
Stop eating your donut.
Don't face me, face them. I can't take you serious when I'm watching you. Hey, 3 younger players playing 2 years above their age group, at least. That's hard. Size differences. Faster. Although any one of these guys will give anybody a run for the money, speed-wise, skill-wise too. Hey, they brought a level of composure and calmness to. I think they kind of learned from each other. This age group coming up and then playing with them and interacting, I think they both kind of fed off each other and learned a lot from each other. And I really think the team really started kind of gelling at that point. So I'm happy for all three of you, you know, digging in and sometimes playing 2 games a day, playing with a pulled muscle, you know, running in 110-degree heat to turn around an hour and a half later and go and do it again. Sometimes with not the best result, and just sticking with it. That just goes to tell you the mentality of these three. And so, you know, when you hear certain names, these are 3 that, you know, years from now, you'll these types of actions they're doing right now by playing up, standing out like that. I think that's where their history will be written. So, Layla, you get 2 today. Okay, yeah. Yep. And Pablo.
Amazing.
Oh, we got that one on. Good. All right. And thank you, parents. I know. Same story, but I know it wasn't easy getting them out there. Sometimes dealing with my crazy schedule of trying to reserve lights the night before and trying to react to availability. So yeah, thank you for reacting and getting them out there, because they wouldn't have been able to do this unless you got them there. So thank you.
Team picture.
Good morning, guys.
Team picture. Okay, I will put the big ones in the back, little ones, shorter ones.
We need to cut it.
Okay, so.
You guys had an awesome picture on that game.
Can you guys fit this? Because the tree's right here.
Yeah. Come over here.
Hey, let's hit this one.
Hurry, you guys turn this way. There you go.
There you go.
Get away from the tree.
No, I'm not.
Right.
Closer. Are you ready?
Scoot in. Come on. Get closer. Get it closer. You guys all smell. It's okay.
Everybody smile. Okay, are we ready?
No. Monica's in the picture.
I'm sorry. Layla, a little closer.
You guys squeeze it a little more.
Yeah. 3, 2, hey, look at me. 3, 2, 1, cheese. Layla, get closer to me. So one more time. 3,
Everyone who was looking
2,
down to the other team
1,
picture.
cheese.
One crazy. One crazy like.
You play with them? Oh my God! Stop! We forgot this. Oh my God! You didn't play with them. No. You didn't play with them. Yes, he did. We're good.